is here, and she is a Guyanese, living in Barbados for the last 20 years. Bajanese. Yes, that's my new word.
Oh, yes.
How do you find Barbados after all these years?
Wow, it's a great question. I find Barbados a very beautiful place.
Mhm.
I call it home now, away from home.
How was the transition? Was it like culture shock?
Yes, the cultural differences was, well, great in terms that, like the food we eat, the clothes that we wear, and everything that we do in Guyana is just like different from what they do here in Barbados. Because some of the foods I was not able to be, I wasn't accustomed to it, to be honest.
What brought you to our land? Is it a man?
No, 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 no.
Mhm.
Actually, I was invited to come for a vacation.
Mhm.
Yes. And on my vacation, I was I had a little job because it was just for 1 month. People out there at the job begged me to stay. They didn't want me to go back. But then at the time they told me that they would have done everything for me in terms of permit, that I would not be illegal
Mhm.
and things like that. They just persuade me to stay.
Mhm.
And then at that time I wanted more in life. I wanted to build my own house at home. Then I started thinking about the currency exchange,
Mhm.
whereby I was saying, what? $1 is 90 or 100 Guyana dollars. So I was thinking about all of that. It's a combination of a lot of stuff caused me to stay. But for a man, it wasn't so for me.
Okay. You have your own business.
Yes, I do.
How did you get started? Was it difficult because you're not Barbadian? Did you have a lot of challenges?
Yes. Well, how I get started with my own business is because from the same people that I had worked for, they had trained me into sales and marketing. These people at that time had been called OTM. They're people that used to go around with bags,
Mhm.
door to door.
Mhm.
So they give me that kind of information that I need to, like, how to approach Barbadians, how to go and sell them the stuff. And every day I used to go out there and sell all the stuff. So they like me for that. Yeah, and from there, after like 2 years into the work, and I asked the boss about my working permit and my status. Every year he told me next year. So like that, I tell myself I can't stay because I realized at that time I became illegal. And I still used to be in the open, going around selling the stuff. So then I tell myself, well, if you could do it for them, why not do it for yourself and be just as how you are? So that caused me to start my own business. And from then till now, I have never worked with anybody else because then I felt like I was tricked into being here, then into being illegal at that time, and then into selling products for someone and taking all the money and give them. So
Yeah.
I did reverse that situation and I did it for myself.
And you have a daughter, and you both were just in Barbados mother-daughter pageant. How was that experience?
Oh, well, it was great. I could tell you. My daughter, she likes pageantry. Since primary school, I had her in like 2 or 3 pageants. The last one, she plays Miss Africa from the primary school. So she just liked those things. We placed second runner up.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so that was great. So it was a wonderful experience.
You and your husband.
Well, it would have been about 19 years old. But we're not together anymore. We were friends for a while, yes, before we got married, because after then he realized they were tricking me as not doing my permit. He had decided that, well, we will get married. It took not more than a year before I got my papers.
Okay.
we had been separated for quite a while because after I got the little girl, I don't know what happened then. But I think I heard it is something that happens in Barbados a lot.
Yes.
That when guys get a child with a woman, probably they see her no longer useful.
That's true. Yeah.
And eventually they look for someone younger or maybe someone that has no children.
Yeah.
So then
It
I get to
happens here.
realize, well, probably that is one of the reasons because I really don't know of any other. Being in a family, you know, as coming up as a family person, I like to have a family, and this had really been a hard one for me.
I don't know if you know, if you have heard, but a lot of Bajans still have good things to say about Guyanese.
That is true.
Guyanese women, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah. So, first thing is, you would hear a good Guyanese is a dead Guyanese. You've heard that before?
Yes, I heard that many of times. And then sometimes they would turn and say, if you're Guyanese, and they said, a good Guyanese is a dead Guyanese, and you're black as like Afro Guyanese, they would say, well, I ain't talking to you, I'm talking about the Indian ones.
Oh.
You know, so sometimes they would say that to the black ones, and maybe it might be vice versa when they're talking to the Indian, they might say it about the black. But they say that because some Guyanese too come over here and they be smart with the people.
And I've heard from men before saying, I'm gonna dump my woman and get a Guyanese. I guess saying, well, because Bajan women lazy or like to do things in their time or don't get their lunch and dinner on time. And the women, the Bajan women would say, Guyanese women ain't no effing good. All they want is money.
Okay.
Meaning that they go to the extent and do whatever to please the man.
Yeah. In order to get money. Well, I would say with the first instance where you say some of the Bajan men would say they're going to leave their woman to go to deal with the Guyanese woman because in Guyana there's a culture of women learning early age as being like how to look after your husbands. They learn to cook early, clean and stuff like that, and how to treat the husband with, especially if you come up with a family home, how to treat your husband with respect and with love and things like that. I'm not sure know what's going on because everything people just deviate from the real culture now, and everything is just modernized and people doing differently now. But before time, yes, they learn how to cook, to clean, how to treat the husband well, how to show him love and respect. And the thing is, the husband always like the head of the home, and they always like. I remember at my home personally, my mother she would make certain that my father get his food first, that he got the best. You know, this kind of thing. And we as children was like, oh, mommy, what? You know, so things like that. And then she would, you know, treat him well. So, you know, from that, your children is learning, and other homes like that. So when they come here now, they would want to do treat the men the same way. So when a man now get treated that way, and he is not accustomed to that, he would want to stay. So a lot of the women
stay and spread the word.
Yes. And so a lot of the women they lose their husband because of that. Because then she would cook his breakfast, and sometimes she would be learn how to place it on the table and give to the husband, you know, and his lunch, and then treat him first, look after his clothing, make certain that he's always clean and neat, you know, these kinds of things. I mean, at this modern time, it has been a little different because the husband and the wife now working together.
I was working in the beauty industry. I would always hear, oh, Guyanese women this, Guyanese women that. And yes, I have a handful of Guyanese clients. Never knew what to believe. So I'm glad you asked me that. And it makes sense. because like I've heard men say before, oh, I'm gonna get a Guyanese woman because she would make sure you're okay. And I have this one Guyanese client. She told me one day, Claudia girl, me don't make sport, you know. I know, don't laugh at my Guyanese accent. She said, Claudia girl, me don't make sport, you know. Um, my husband Friday him give me all the money, you know. I was like, what? How do you mean he gives you all the money? Yes, girl. I just me's making breakfast, packing bag, me making lunch, me and when him get home, me making dinner and me even put some ice cold water in him bag for work. Him don't have to spend no money at work. I was like, huh? I could not believe it. Could I do that? No. I don't mind doing the basics, you know, like
Yes.
housework, laundry,
Yes.
breakfast, but to get up, pack his bag,
Yes.
iron, make the breakfast, and even put cold water in his bag
Yes.
so he can't spend a bad dollar. Like,
Yes.
whew,
Yes.
and still have to deal with the kids.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There are some of them who do all of those things.
So after she said that to me, I was like, oh, so maybe it's really about the money. But now that you explained it, it's like, as you say, that's how you were raised.
Yes.
To look after your man.
Yes.
So, Bajan ladies, hope you guys listening. For sure, I know I'll be cursed. I know I'll be cursed. Yeah, they won't cuss me out.
But with the money thing though, they learn to it seems as though they like enough money, but they want to save as much and try to see what they can do with the money and how they can spend the money in a better way than to just waste it.
I've also heard that Bajan guys will say, well, the Guyanese do what you want, they don't fuss or fight. I mean, a Guyanese man and a Bajan man, is it different?
Yes.
Explain to me.
Well, I had one Guyanese boyfriend before I had the one Bajan husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it was different because I never had to ask him for anything.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets paid, he would just come and give me money without asking me, well, you want this or you want that. With the Barbadian, you have to tell him you want sweetie, you want pen, so you want pen before, and then he was far out that money. Which he won't like look and say, well, she's a woman and she needs. She's a woman that needs things monthly. She's need things. So let me just give her. She gotta go and ask him that you want this thing before you get.
That's
And
true.
it is really bad that way because you're not accustomed to be begging. So for me, I like to be independent. So I don't ever beg or I don't ever ask.
And sexually, is it different?
In some ways, yes.
Explain. Keep it real with me. Explain.
For Guyanese, love making is, they're romantic people. They would like start playing up with you here, making these kind of little romances, kissing up, hugging up, running, playing, this kind of way. And then you get so sexually, you want to have sex and things like that. And you enjoy like a whole story. I call it a story.
Okay.
But for in Barbadian, it's just like no hug, no kiss, no romance. In some cases, it's just like just whatever they want is that's it, bam bam. Then when you finish, no hugs, no kiss, no romance at end either. So it's like but I thought he loved me. But then it's like you don't feel love with that. But in
Mhm.
a whole nice story of romance, whereby you just have the hugs, you have
Yes.
kisses, you know you play
I
with each
agree.
other, you know if you see something and the person knows, you say, let me take that off for you. You know, this kind of way, this love.
Yeah.
That is what makes it special.
Yeah.
Not just this dry thing. So
Oh my God. She is not lying. She's not lying. She's not lying.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say to Barbadian women about Guyanese women?
What I would say is if you just be open minded and try to accept someone else, not because you might think that your country is better or this person is in a worse situation, and you would want to make them feel well because you're in a worse situation, you're indifferent. Because there's a way that causes them to have these feelings too, you know. Because they feel that they're higher than Guyanese women and lower. You know, this always it happens all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
When people feel they're higher than you or superior, they would always look down on you, on the one that's inferior.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just have open mind and to just accept the person as another human being, and then probably learn about their ways, maybe that could be a that would make a difference. It would make a difference because you would start thinking, well, you know, that's how they do their thing, and you would probably start accepting.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for explaining and having a bit of fun with me today.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.